In this video, I will show you how to test this Keystone API using RESTClient extension of Chrome. So go to this link. Here you can see the API documentation of Keystone Identity Service. I am using API version 3. Here you can see what's are the new features available in API version 3 of Keystone. Just go through that. Then document overview, API conventions. So there is the headers. Actually there is two type of headers, XO token and X subject token. XO token and H subject token. API authentication token when accessing identity API. That's a authentication token. This one is header is used to convey the subject of the request to a token related operations. For token related operation, we are using convey subject of the request for the token related operations. Then request attributes. There is one section is for collection request attributes, so that we can send these attributes through the request. So there is other section is for members. This is one for collections. It's for members, ID and links. Then CRUD operations. There is a create an entity. For create an entity, we need to make a post request to entities /entities URLs API version /entities, and then body. For list entities, we need to send get request to that URL /entities. If you want to filter the list, we have to make a entities question mark, then filters name and enabled. If you want to get a single entity, we need to make a get request to the entity, then ID of the entity what you need. Then if you want to update an entity, we need to send a patch request to this URL entity /ID of entity what we want to update. For delete, we need to send delete request to entity /ID of the entity what you want to delete. Then there are different HTTP status codes. There is a response code. 201 created, 204 no content. First for head put and delete, multiple choice, 400 bad request, unauthorized, forbidden, not found, conflict, 409, internal server error, not implemented, 501, service unavailable, 503. Then API resources usage. So if you go to this URL, you can see, if you make a get request to that URL, you can see all users. If you make a get request to this URL, you can see all groups. Similarly, you can see all credentials. You can make get, post, put and head request to all these URL, projects, domains, regions, roles, services, endpoint, then tokens, then policy. We can do create policy, list policy. So now we are in core APIs section. So now I'm going to show you how to make a request to the Keystone API. Okay, so if you want to list all API versions, suppose you are IP of Keystone, you want to see the all the supported API version. So if you right now I am using in DevStack setup. So if you don't know the IP of the OpenStack setup, go to the DevStack and do if config. My setup is in VM, so here you can see the IP of the OpenStack machine. So in the case of DevStack, everything is running in one machine. So Keystone also running there. So 101 is the IP of the OpenStack server. Let me open this advanced REST client extension of Chrome and let me so let me open this URL in Chrome so we can access it. You can check copy paste easily. Okay, so I'm going to list all supported API version. Go to make an get request to that URL 101/500. If you make a get request to that URL, you can see status code 300 multiple choices. The response here, you can see a response in JSON and raw format. You can see, I think JSON format is more understandable. So here you can see ID API version 3.0, API version 2.0. Actually, we don't need any authentication to list this data. We just need to make an get request to IPs colon 5000. Then you will get the list of API version and the URL also. So we will get this data without any authentication. Just make the get request to that particular URL. Okay, if we go to v3, let me specify v3. So we can I made a get request to v3 version of API, so I can see that also. If you specify 2.0, I can see only that data 2.0. So right now Keystone support two versions of API 2.0 and 3. So I am going to use this 3 only here right now. Okay, 3 and 2 and okay. I will show you how to do authentication. To do this authentication, let me copy this URL. I am using v3 version 3 API, paste here auth that / tokens. I need to make a post request to that particular URL in order to get token. Not only post request, I need to pass the data also. In the payload section, I have to post this data. So that it means is I am going to this auth data that contains the username, password, and the method of authentication. All those data are there in this JSON. So let me send that request. So bad request, that's what I am getting because I missed this content type header. So if you want to pass a JSON content in the request, we need to specify the type of that content in the header. So in this case we need to specify here like content type JSON, application JSON, something like this we need to specify in the header. Paste here. Okay, now it's okay. Let me send the request again. Okay, it's created. It's created means I made a post request to host tokens URL, so it's created a token. In the response header you can see his subject token. That's actually the token, X subject token. That's a new token of that particular token for that particular user. So I can use that token for the other request, but right now I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use the admin token. So here you can see method password. That's what method what I am using. Then inside password section we can specify your user, then username and password, then the domain of the user. In this section, in this part, we can also specify the scope. Here in the response we can see an XO token, something like that. This is the new token which is created for that particular user. If you want to validate that token, how to validate? If you want to validate, we need to send a get request to that auth tokens URL. Then we need a one admin token to validate that. This is admin token. Then the token which we created for this user, the token we got after authentication, that's what I am going to validate. It's okay, that means that token is valid. That X subject token is valid, that's what it's showing. Then check 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 token. If you want to check the token, you need to make a head request to that particular the same URL with the same headers. Let me I will show you that's in the documentation. Authentication, for authentication we need to, then scope is there, we need to specify the scope, otherwise we cannot use the token which we will get after authentication. Scope is must. Validate token that I shown you, then check token, head request to auth token URL. Check token, that's what I am showing you right now. Head request to auth tokens URL. Select head, all other things are same. Make a request. Okay, 240 no content. That's what that's the expected response. That's what that document is telling. If you make head request to this particular URL, you will not get any response, but no response body is provided even if the error occur or a token is invalid. In both cases we will not get the response if you make a head request to these auth tokens for checking this token. Okay, then let me I will show you how to delete this token. For that we need to make a method delete request to the same URL. So select this delete, and with the same header, we with the body we don't need, only header. Make a request. Okay, 40204 no content, that's the status. And the response nothing, that's also the expected result. We will not get any response, any content in the response if you make a delete request to, if you delete one content. Let me create project. I will show you how to create project in Keystone. Let me go to the projects API documentation. So here you can see the API project section. Here you can see how to create a project, how to list a project, how to update a project, how to delete a project. First one, how to create a project. For create a project, we need to make a post request to this URL v3/projects. For list, we need to make a get, delete, we need to make a delete, update, we need to make patch. Clear the whole data. So I cleared everything, add the new URL for this project's related operation. Then select the method post. Here we can see the documentation. We need to make a post request to /projects URL. You have to create a new project. Okay, method is equal to post. I have to so select this method post. Then we need a JSON body that should contain the details of the project name, project status, description, everything. So we can paste that header of payload. We have to paste that in the payload section. Then give a name. Here I am going to create a my project 5. So getting, because I'm getting this bad request here. The same thing what we saw earlier, we need to specify the content type header. So content type, we need to specify application JSON, because we are sending JSON content. So we need to add as content type, then send the request again. So this time I got 401 unauthorized, because we need a valid token in order to make a request. In order to create a for create project, list project, update project, delete project, for everything we need a valid token. So let me use this admin token. I'm not here. I am not that I am not using the token which I created earlier, but here I am using the admin token. We can use the token we created, so it's working. Both way we can use the token we created. So I will show you how I got that admin token. Go to /it in the OpenStack server. Go to /etc keystone code config. In that file you can see this admin token. This is what I am using for right now. You can also use the another we can also create a new one using the username and password, and you can use that also. So if you go to the devstack directory and open localrc file, there you can see the token, service token. That's the token. If you want to change this name, just change here and run the dot stack stack.sh again. Change here and then run stack.sh. Then it will update the token, admin token. So that's so in this example I am using admin token. Okay, I will show in another tutorial how to use different token from how to create a token from different user and how to use that for making a request. So next I will show you how to list projects. For that we need to make get request to the same URL. We also need a token, admin token we need, otherwise we cannot make a request to that particular URL. Okay, here you can see list projects, make a get request to projects. So select get. This thing we don't need because I am not passing in a data. I'm only sending get request to that project's URL. Okay, it's working. I got 200. Okay, status. If I remove that, we will get unauthorized. So we need this token. Okay, so in the response we can see list of all projects. So let me check the name. So this is the project we created just before, my project 5. Okay, and project has ID, enabled, domain ID, links, description, everything is there. Let me take back up the ID so I can use it later for get project list, delete project. We can delete, we cannot use any other. Okay, we should use the ID to get and update and delete. We cannot use the name. That's why I copied that ID. So let me show how to get project using project ID. For that we need to make a get request to project slash ID of the project. So here slash, let me paste this ID of my new ID of project which I created just before. Okay, then and to make, okay, then send a get request with admin, with the token, not only admin token, with any token, valid token. So it's working. I got 200. Okay, status. Here you will I got the details of my project 5. Okay, in this way we can get any data. Okay, then move to update project. For this we need to, in the same URL we need to make the patch request, patch method request with one difference is there, with body is in JSON format. We need to make a patch request to this URL with body, JSON body. That body should contain the data what you need to update. For I am going to update this description, only the description of the project, my project 5. That's what I am going to update. Select the patch request, then we need this content type header, otherwise we will not get that, we will get that error because we are passing that JSON in the request. So we need to specify that. Let me remove these things. I am going to update only description of that project. So I removed all other things, only description. So I updated the description. Okay, this me send that request. Okay, 20, okay, 200, 200, okay. So it's work. So here we can see the data with description is updated. Okay, let me make a get request. Let me query that project using ID, so I can confirm that it's updated. I don't need this content type. I'm going to make a get request to that particular ID URL. Okay, okay, it's working. Its description is updated. Okay, in the final example, how to delete that project. For that, we need to make a delete request to the same URL, project/id. Delete request. What we need to do is just select the method delete. Delete. Okay, we payload that body we don't need. Just remove this body. We don't need. Only we need to make the what we need to make the delete request. Send. So we will get this 204 no content. That means it deleted. There will not be any response because data is deleted. So how to confirm that? To confirm that, we need to make the get request to the same URL, because this IDs does not exist right now. Send. Okay, we will get this error 404 not 4. That means that project does not exist right now. It's deleted. So in this way we can do all other operations like usage, delete, create, delete, update, and list user, create, delete, update, and list your roles, then domains, then there's a lot of things, right? Endpoint, service, groups, lot of things, everything. We can do the same way. We can do all those operations. What only this URL and content will change. This flow is same. You can try all these things: groups, create groups, list groups, get to group, update group, delete group. All these things we can try. Okay, roles, policies. There is lot of things are there. You can try that when you get time. Okay, okay. Thank you for watching this video.